A shutdown means millions of federal employees, members of the military, TSA officers, ICE agents would go without pay.
Out of this, President Trump says a government shutdown is likely. His time is now running out.
Democrats want to shut it down. If it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down.
Hundreds of thousands of workers across the federal government could be affected.
100,000 federal workers will resign on Tuesday.
Our position has been very clear. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save healthcare.
Nobody saw this coming. More than 100,000 federal workers gone, all walking out on the exact same day. The largest mass resignation in U.S. history. And here's the shocking part. It's happening right under Donald Trump's watch. And the timing, right before a possible government shutdown.
Actually had an actual shutdown, but we've been to the brink a number of times.
This is the kind of headline that makes you stop scrolling. So let's break it down. Here's what you need to know. Trump's administration has been rolling out a deferred resignation program. It's a plan to slash the federal workforce. Now the deadline is here, and the exits are massive. Picture this. It's Tuesday morning in Washington, D.C. The air is heavy, and every government building feels tense. From FEMA headquarters to the Department of Education to agencies that keep planes flying, benefits flowing, and communities safe. Desks are going empty, security guards are collecting badges, supervisors are handing out exit paperwork, and longtime employees, people with decades of service, are packing boxes in silence. By sundown,
100,000 federal workers will resign on Tuesday.
And here's the twist. The word resignation makes it sound like a choice, but many of these workers describe it as anything but voluntary. That's not a career move. That's survival. That's exhaustion. That's intimidation. It's people saying, we've had enough. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about jobs, it's about power. And Trump knows it. Inside the White House, Trump calls this cutting waste. To his supporters, it sounds like draining the swamp. But to his critics, it's gutting democracy from the inside. And while America argues, Congress is panicking. If they can't pass a funding deal by midnight, boom, shutdown. That means agencies already bleeding workers could grind to a halt. And the fallout is real. Airport security lines stretching for hours, Social Security checks delayed, disaster response teams slowed down while wildfires and hurricanes strike. Imagine trying to run a nation when 100,000 of your staff are suddenly gone, and just when you think the story couldn't get more chaotic, Trump calls a last-minute meeting with Congress, a so-called bipartisan rescue. But insiders whisper it's less about compromise and more about a showdown. So, how's America reacting? Social media went nuclear. Within hours, mass resignation shot to the top of Twitter's trending list. TikTok feeds filled with emotional clips. Employees filming their final walk out of government offices. Some posted teary goodbyes after 20, even 30 years of service. On Instagram, pictures of empty cubicles and farewell cakes went viral. But let's not forget, the country is deeply divided. On the right, Trump supporters are celebrating. They see this as a long overdue cleanup. Comments like, finally, deadweight gone, taxpayers win. On the left, critics are fuming. They see it as sabotage. One viral tweet read, "This isn't draining the swamp, it's setting fire to the country." And the media, they're just as split. Conservative hosts calling it a victory for efficiency. Liberal commentators labeling it a national crisis.
Our position has been very clear. Cancel the cuts, lower the costs, save healthcare.
This polarization is exactly what fuels virality. Every side sees confirmation of what they already believe, and ordinary workers, caught in the middle, become the human face of the debate. But wait, that's not the only headline breaking out of Washington. Trump has already ordered agencies to prepare firing lists.
Out of this, President Trump says a government shutdown is likely. His time is now running out.
If the shutdown hits,
Hundreds of thousands of workers across the federal government could be affected.
second twist, a former White House lawyer claims Trump is using the James Comey indictment as a smokescreen. The accusation, he's trying to rewrite history, to bury old scandals and reframe himself as the victim. Third twist, New York politics just imploded. Mayor Eric Adams dropped out of his re-election bid. His corruption case became a bargaining chip. And insiders say Trump's administration cut a deal in exchange for his cooperation on immigration raids. Each story could be its own headline. But stack them together, it paints one explosive picture. Trump's Washington is running on chaos. Polls show exactly how divided America is. Many Americans say they never trusted federal workers anyway. They believe government is bloated, slow, and corrupt. But others are warning of serious consequences. Who responds when disaster hits? Who processes benefits for seniors and veterans? Who ensures borders and airports function smoothly? International media is watching closely. European outlets are calling it America's Great Walkout. Asian commentators are asking if the US can still project stability around the world. And while politicians argue, families at home are bracing for longer wait times, for delayed services, for the uncertainty of not knowing what shuts down next. So the real question is this just the beginning or the first domino in a much bigger collapse? Why does this moment matter? Because it's not just about payrolls or office chairs. It's about trust. Federal workers are the people who keep the machine running. They don't make headlines, but they're the ones keeping airports open, checks processed, and emergency calls answered. When more than 100 walk out at once, it's a signal flare. For Trump's base, it proves he's serious.
Democrats want to shut it down. If it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down.
He's not afraid to break old systems. He's doing what others promised but never dared. For his critics, it's evidence of a darker play, that he's hollowing out the system, leaving chaos behind, and turning governance into spectacle. And here's the bigger cultural twist. This isn't just politics, it's performance. Every resignation fuels the narrative. Every empty cubicle becomes a symbol. And in America, where attention is currency, Trump understands that chaos isn't a bug, it's the feature. That's why this story is viral. It's historic, dramatic, and deeply personal. But think about it. What happens tomorrow when those 100,000 desks stay empty? America is standing at the edge of a cliff. On one side, Trump says, "This is how we fix Washington." On the other, millions fear a government so broken it can't serve its own people. And as the clock ticks toward Tuesday, it feels less like politics and more like the final act of a thriller. Except this isn't fiction, this is unfolding in real time. And the ending hasn't been written yet. So let me ask you, is Trump really draining the swamp? Or is he burning the whole house down? Drop your thoughts below, because this one is going to split America straight down the middle. And if you want to stay ahead of tomorrow's biggest stories, make sure you hit subscribe right now, because trust me, you do not want to miss the next twist.